So there was some decline and some growth depending on where you live on the island. Overall, island growth was slower than BC's. And what about the national picture? Well, Dana Hutchings is here now with more in tonight's Checkpoint.
Jim, on the island there are some definite trends. Smaller resource-based communities saw drops or stagnation in population. In the capital region, the suburban sprawl is evident. Let's take a look at the numbers. Sydney is down 1.2%, Esquimalt down 3.7%. Saanich, Oak Bay and Victoria had marginal growth, but you really see the increases in the West Shore and beyond. In addition to Langford, Colwood was up 9.5%. The Highlands saw an 11.5% growth, and Souk is up nearly 18%. Let's take a look at the island now. Nanaimo and Courtenay saw a growth of 6.5% and 7.5%. Tofino had a 13.5% increase. Port Alberni stayed virtually the same, but there were decreases as well. Gold River's population dropped by 7%, and Port Alberni also saw a decline of almost 2%. And nationally, the trends are also interesting. The latest figures show Canada is the fastest growing of all G8 countries. While it's mainly due to immigration, it appears there's a shift to the west.
The expression used to be, the West wants in. Well, it's in. The census shows that people are flocking there to work and live.
Jobs, a lot of opportunity here. I know almost all my friends are from outside of Calgary, outside of the province even.
Alberta's population has grown from 3.3 million to 3.6 million since 2006. Edmonton and Calgary are the two fastest growing cities in the country. Calgary's population alone has jumped 12.6%.
I do think that we are in the midst of a significant shift over time in terms of the westward movement of the population of Canada.
Houses can't go up fast enough. Public transit is expanding to meet the demand.
Before the oil, Alberta was known for what? Beef, buffaloes, and Banff.
Saskatchewan also makes news in the census. Its population was in decline. Now it's up more than 6% since the last census. There are more than 1 million people in Saskatchewan for the first time since 1986, drawn by the booming oil, gas, and potash sector.
We see more people moving from other parts of the country to Saskatchewan, as well as we see more immigrants settling in Saskatchewan.
In the Atlantic provinces, PEI, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, and Labrador are all seeing growth, mostly through immigration and fewer people leaving. Contrast this with Ontario, where immigration levels are down. 96,000 fewer immigrants have moved to the province. There are fewer jobs, 300,000 fewer in the last decade, with a manufacturing sector that has been hit hard.
And back now to Vancouver Island. Our checkpoint question tonight: why do you think Vancouver Island is falling behind? You can tweet us, you can post on Facebook, or you can email checkpoint@checknews.ca.
So why are we falling behind? Dana Hutchings is back with your Checkpoint responses.
Jim, according to the census, Victoria had a population of over 344,000 and remains Canada's 15th largest city. Over the past 5 years, 14,000 people have moved here. But Victoria and Vancouver Island's growth is below the national average. Our checkpoint question tonight: why do you think Vancouver Island is falling behind? Here are some of your thoughts from the streets.
The reason why the population is down is because of job opportunities, particularly younger people leave the island.
The high rates of the ferries going back and forth is going up and up.
I would think that we'd actually be growing more with more people moving here from different areas of the country, kind of retiring baby boomers coming out west to the warmer weather.
I think that the labor market doesn't support a lot of families, a lot of growing families.
How expensive it is to buy real estate around here, unless you want to rent for the all foreseen future, then it's not very logical.
It's expensive to live here, but it's worth it.
From email, Robert says, I think the slow growth on Vancouver Island can be attributed to the ferries. The service is slow, unreliable, and way too damn expensive. We should just build a bridge and be done with it. Brittany says it's too expensive to live here, let alone raise kids. And Darlene says jobs. Our young people have to move to Alberta or up north in order to make a living, as my two sons sadly have had to do. And our web poll question tonight: why did you move to Vancouver Island? Almost 10% said to retire, 12% said job opportunities, 22% said lifestyle, and 56% said you were born here. And a lot of people on social media today said they like it the way it is here. Vic Bryce says we live in paradise and growth will only spoil it. And that's tonight's Checkpoint.